What's up, y'all? Today I got every book I read in September. This video's super late to be about September because, it just started to be November. But I'm still going to bust these out because I really I do like to make these videos. And September was kind of a light reading month, so I think this will fly by here. The first book I have for the month of September is Yucatan. I hope that's how you say it. Yucatan 1512 by Alex Vede, I think is how you say it. I don't know for sure. Alex Vede is actually someone I followed on Instagram forever because I like his art, and I didn't know that he started doing comics for real. And my understanding is that it's pretty recent, at least like published work of comics is recent for him. He also lettered it. Good for him. He did everything. This is Yucatan by Alex Vede all the way. This story is about like a conquistador moving through. It feels Aztec is what it's supposed to be. I don't know. I'm not that like tapped in to all that, but through like a native, like Central American place, they're looking for some sort of treasure or power or something in there, and we follow this guy who is one of the conquistador type folks who has a change of heart in the middle of the mission. That's all I'm going to say. This book's really short. I think it's like 70 pages total or something like that. It's really short, but the book, I think, for like first published work, this rips. The art is the real like jewel of this comic. Like I love these textures on the pages, and it's very it's very like Ghost of Tsushima if you played that game where there's just like particles in the air. It feels like that in this book. There's just always like marks and these little like texture things flying around everywhere in this book. And it ends up giving it like this I don't know, this like frenetic pace. Like it feels like there's so much happening and everything. And his compositions are really good whenever they pop out of the panel. I think it's wonderful. He's got like a really effective style for comics. You know what I mean? Like everything is so clear and readable and like it's really wonderful. I actually had a great time reading this book. Again, it's very short, so you don't really get like you can only do so much in 60 pages, and this is kind of like a big story. I wasn't going to say like a big idea. Like he could have for sure like stretched this out, but I think that the fact that he kept it short is a little bit of a strength of this book. This could definitely go on like the 90-minute action movie list, I think, just because of how quickly we get to it. But his action's really good. The characters are good, although it's like a little bit of like a lone wolf and cub, like a formula we've seen before. But it's one I like, and I think it works. I think it's fun. I don't think this book is gonna like blow you away, but I think this is like a very well made. Like, look at this art, dude. That's a cool panel. Very well made. I think from here on out, I'm going to have season tickets to Alex Vede. I know he has another book called Riptide, which I'm already looking to get. I had a lot of fun with this book. I think it's a great time. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. But like for a book this short, man, it's pretty good, man. It gets the job done. I liked it. Yucatan. I'd recommend. Up next, we got Cruel Universe. This is from Oni Press. It's an anthology, so it's by like 100 million people. This is like the grand return of EC comics that they were doing. I'm not really like an EC comics guy, generally speaking. Like horror isn't really my niche. But when they had this, and it's like, oh, there's writers I like, They got Chris Condon in here who I really like. Here you go. Here's a big list of everybody. There's writers I like in here. There's artists I like in here. Riley Rossmo. We got Artyom Toplin, Matt Kintz in here, David Lapham. It's good stuff. Sci-fi anthology I'm usually in, generally speaking. It says Greg Smallwood. I'm pretty sure he only does covers, which made me very sad because I love Greg Smallwood art. This book's good. I mean, again, it's not like... I feel like it's tough to do these when it comes to anthologies because, it's not all going to hit, which is kind of the point. But like the different ideas in here I thought was really fun. It kind of felt like Love, Death, and Robotsy in the best way. Excuse me. In the best way. Because I love that show. And I thought that the ideas were all like different enough from each other. I always worry with anthologies if you get things like you don't want any two things that feel like samey. We definitely never got there. My favorite stories are for sure, I think there's two Chris Condon ones, and those are probably my favorite. The Matt Kent one at the front is pretty cool. I like it. I'd already like had it low key spoiled for me before because I'd be reading reviews like a fool. Uh, but I had a great time with this. There's here. Let me show you some more pages. We get some more variety in the artwork. So Riley Rossmo one. The art was great. I had a great time. The Art Toplin stuff. He's so good. I wish he did more. I just need more Art Toplin comics in my life. Yeah, I mean, it does have that kind of like, because it's quote unquote cruel universe. The stories are like a little bit dark, each one of them. There's not really a happy story in any of this, I wouldn't say. But it's fun, dude. It's fun. It's fun to just rip through these, and some of the stories are like 2 pages. Some of them are like 15. So you get so much like variety, bro, and you never know exactly what's coming next. It's a blast. I had a really good time with this. I will be buying the next Cruel Universe. I'm also looking out for Cruel Kingdom, which is their like dark fantasy one that they're doing. But like this is just like a well done anthology, man. I give it a 4 out of 5. I recommend if you like sci-fi, at least give it a shot. I think that you're a fool if you're not at least not at least trying it. Up next, we got The Autumn Kingdoms by Cullen Bunn, drawn by Christopher Minton. Cullen Bunn is my guy because he made, it's by Oni Press, by the way. He's my guy. He made The Sixth Gun, and for that, I will forever be grateful. I also like a bunch of other books, but The Sixth Gun is a really important one to me. Christopher Minton, he does some Mignolaverse stuff. He really grew on me in, the Witchfinder books. I also read 28 Seconds, something like that. His art style is very good. It grew on me quite a bit. So I was like, Cullen Bunn and Christopher Minton, this should be money in the bank, right? This should be it. And I wish it was, but this one honestly kind of disappointed me. I feel like the setup works. The setup is like there for something I'd like, but it also dances over a subject I'm not a huge fan of, which is in the book, there's a book, and those stories are real type of thing. I just, that's not for me. Not for me. But Christopher Mitton's artwork is sick, as it always is. Cullen Bunn's writing kind of fell flat for me on this one. Specifically the dialogue. Like, this really had some of like my least favorite TV show thing where they're like explaining what's happening while they're going. And it's like, you have Christopher Mitten artwork here. Like, why are we explaining anything? Like, just, he can do it. I don't know. That's just how I feel. At the beginning, it kind of had me, it kind of felt like, Bridge to Terabithia vibes, If you know, you know. But it never totally clicked with me. The story follows this family that, like, moves out to a cabin so the dad can finish writing his book. He's on, like, a retreat. And when they go here, there's like some magic shenanigans that are going on that kind of sound like the writing that their dad does. So there's like fairies and magical creatures, and it's like not fun. Like, I mean, it is fun, but it's like there's like a darker tinge to it. Like none of these creatures seem friendly. Everything's kind of alien and dangerous. There's a scene in here at one point where I really like, where we end up in another family's house in the area, and they kind of give off like spooky, it's the end times, if they're coming for you, you're already doomed type energy, which I really liked. I mean, Christopher Mitton's designs are really good. It just never came together for me. If I'm being honest, I'm probably not buying another one of these trades in the series, so I feel like I gotta give the Autumn Kingdom like a very low 3 out of 5, maybe a high 2. The artwork's great. Christopher Mitton's great. It's just the story didn't really do it for me. Up next, I got Skin Police by Jordan Thomas, drawn by Daniel Gett, lettered by Jason Wordie. I assume colored by Jeff Powell? Oh, other way. Sorry. Jason Wordie, the colorist. My bad. This is by Oni Press. This book was like so high on my list. I was really anticipating Skin Police. Jordan Thomas is the guy who wrote Mugshots, which I loved. But I think that this book has like the best pitch in comics, where it's like a darker future where fertility has gone down, so people like just don't have the ability to have kids, even if they want to. And because of this, there's like a black market for clone babies that started being sold. But these clone babies have like a 3 out of 4 chance to turn into like a psychotic, like not monster, but like they have these like psychotic breaks in episodes that end up hurting a lot of people. And so we follow the guy who works for the police department. He is in the skin police, which they call, is like slang for the division of cops who are sent out to find these clone babies before they turn into, killing machines. Sick, dude. All-time idea on my end. And honestly, it lived up to the expectations I had for it. Jordan Thomas is probably my favorite. Well, he's one of my favorite up-and-coming writers right now. Up-and-coming feels harsh because he has, multiple published books. How was that up-and-coming? But I just want to see more from him. I think I got season tickets to every Jordan Thomas book. Daniel Get, I don't know how you'd say it, is sick. Super sick. I mean, there's like a real like European flair to this art. I don't know if he is European, but it gives me like it's like in conversation with a lot of the old like Mobius style giant cityscapes with all the crazy architecture. Cool stuff, man. He's really, really good. I think his character work is great. I had a blast reading this book. When I got to the end, I couldn't believe it was over. This is a huge, huge recommend for me. It has a lot of things I love. The sci-fi elements I'm in on, which is very like very Blade Runner-y story-wise. And then, the visuals are great. It's got cop stuff. I always love a cop book. That always works for me every time. There's really good character stuff. There's some hinting towards like the greater scheme at play here, that there's more parties working against our main character than we at first realized. But the main character, this detective, this like grizzled detective who just goes and essentially kills people because they're clone babies. The writing balances that like he's a veteran and he knows what he's doing, and also like the effect that this is having on him. Like doing this job is like hard. Nobody likes him. It's like terrible PR the whole way. So I think that character is just so interesting, and I just want more from him. Look how many panels are on this page, dude. He's a sicko. So good. So good. Skin Police for me, it's going to be a 5 out of 5. I hesitate to call it a banger masterpiece. I don't know if it's there yet, but it is quite good. Big recommend. Everyone should read Skin Police. Up next, we got Dear Editor by Ryan K. Lindsay and Sammy Cavella. These two made Everfrost with Black Mask. This book comes from Mad Cave Studios. It has Lauren Affey as the colorist. Jim Campbell is the letterer. Now, this story also is a great setup. That is pretty much why I bought the book. This guy, he's like a reporter. He works for the newspaper, an investigative journalist who also happens to be a deer man. And he is the only deer man in this story. It is never, explained why he's the only deer man. It's never referenced in public. Like, nobody is like, oh my god, you're an animal, you're a beast. Nobody ever does that. He's just a deer man. And it's essentially like a noir story where the investigative journalist takes the place of like the PI as he goes into this big conspiracy that he is suspicious of. And Ryan K. Lindsay, for me, I feel like has great ideas, but like the voice in his writing, or like the pace of his writing, like something doesn't click right in my brain. So I have to like go back and I'll like reread stuff again and again to make sure that I understand what the hell is going on here. So it can be a little bit like murky and not clear sometimes what's happening, at least for me. I don't know if that's the case with anybody else. I really like Sammy Cavella's art. I think that this one color style really works for this story. I think that his compositions in here are really good. He's usually like, he'll do a lot of panels, but he keeps it pretty conventional with like his panel layouts and stuff. And I think it works here, because that's kind of the tone of these like crime stories. You don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel for these things. Joe just do a good, he just does like a good job, and he keeps the fundamentals, and it works. This story has, I'm not going to spoil anything. This book's not that long, but there's a great twist in here where I was like, oh shit, this is what we're doing. Okay, let's go. Which earns a lot of points with me. I always love a book that like you can't guess what's gonna happen next, and this is definitely one of those. I think that it's a little bit like, I mean, it's a weird book, dude, and I, as a compliment, it's weird. It's weird. You're not going to have necessarily read a book like this before. Like I can say it's got the noir, like private investigator, detective stuff, which it does, but it's like everything's a little bit offbeat, and nothing's exactly what you expect it to be. Like, yeah, it's great. It's a little grisly. It's grim, but like the premise is so like, I don't know. I was gonna say fantastical, but it's almost like ridiculous. Like the premise is so crazy that it makes the grim stuff not like weigh you down. So, but it still has like good heavy stakes as the story goes along. It's pretty fun. I don't want to say too much else because there is like not a twist. It's not a twist, but there is a reveal in this book that makes it all worth it. I think that like made me like. I don't know what else you got. I like guffawed out loud while I was reading it. I couldn't believe it. Dear Editor is a very fun time. I'd probably give it a low 4 out of 5, just because it doesn't like the style didn't mesh with like the voice in my head while I'm reading it. So, but it's still good. It's definitely a well made book. I think you guys should try it at least. This one's just a cool one to have in the collection. Up next, we got The Hero Trade by Matt Kindt and David Lapham. This is from Bad Idea, which this is like the only trade paperback of theirs that you can find. They do this whole like they're collector's items. They're hard to find. It makes it impossible for a motherfucker like me to get these books, bro. Because I can't. I like don't live in New York, so like I guess I'll just never have these comics or near like a huge comic shop. Kind of frustrating. Not the point of this book. This book is an anthology taking place in this world, this like superhero world that Matt Kindt and David Lapham set up. David Lapham, I actually don't have that much experience with his work. I know he's in that Cruel Universe anthology I said before. I haven't read Stray Bullets, you know? And I know, it's bad. But I haven't read Stray Bullets. So this was like my first real introduction to his artwork, and I really like this book. I think it's very clever in the way it works. The beginning of this anthology, and kind of like the pitch on the back of the book, is that this guy lives in a world with superheroes. One of those superheroes crashes into his house, I think. He instead of saving it, he puts the superhero in his trunk and he is chopping off body parts and reselling it to criminals. That's the world we're in. And it like that tone carries throughout. I think it's very smart. I think it's very interesting. I flew through this book. It is an anthology book, but of course, because it's Matt Kindt and David Lapham the whole time, that consistency really makes it feel like one connected world. Like, kind of criminally, but way shorter stories than in Criminal. The artwork is incredible. It's on this really crazy, like, thin paper. Like, this book is so light because this paper is so, like, thin, which kind of bothered me at first, but I feel like it all comes together so well. I don't know, like, I feel like every part of this book was intentionally crafted to like hit this tone, and I think they get it. This book's really fun. It's definitely dark, but it's like grisly things. Like this guy's chopping a dude in his trunk, right? And you'd think that would be like, ew, gross. That's like, kind of grisly and grim, but it isn't. I like the whole time. There's good humor throughout all of it. So even as this crazy shit is happening, and it feels so heavy. Or it would feel so heavy in any other book. This book, it's kind of like funny in a weird way. And like, I don't know who deserves more credit. Like, I don't know if that's Matt Kindt's writing. I don't know if it's David Lapham's artwork. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And David Lapham, he's so good in black and white. Like, his work is so, the spotting of blacks is so well done. The expressions, the characters, these people all feel so different. And, you only get like 10, 13 pages on some of these to really get to know them. And I feel like I know these characters so well as we go through. I really love this book. I think that this is like a truly ingenious like idea and world. And I think that The Hero Trade gets a 5 out of 5 for me. I really like this book. I know that they're still going and they're making more. Will they make a trade paperback? Who knows? Because fucking Bad Idea doesn't want me to read their books or anybody else. I hope they do, because I really like this book. Big recommend for me. 5 out of 5 for sure. Up next, I have Drome, written, drawn, and colored by Jesse Lonergan. It does not have the dust jacket on it right now. I was very sad. My book got delivered during the one rainstorm we had here, and so it got all messed up, which makes me really sad. So it's got some damage, but you know, the book's still good, and I'm not here to waste books. Jesse Lonergan is also a guy I know from Instagram, and found I feel like his comics career is relatively recent, relatively new. But when I heard that he was getting, his own thick ass book, graphic novel that was coming out, I had to get it. It was for sure. I got season tickets for Jesse Lonergan. I love that guy. And this book, man, is a visual masterpiece. Actually, this is magnum opus territory that we're in with Jesse Lonergan. Every page has the most ingenious use of panels and so creative, so imaginative, so many ideas. This is not a silent book, but it is. The writing is so sparse. There's very few written words in this book, and he does it perfectly, dude. He's so good. He's so good. It's a. I don't even know how to describe it. This is a creation myth that he's doing here, and a fairy tale type of style. It's very, very much like a myth. I'd say like a Greek myth, except all the gods we don't know. A lot of them don't even get named. We are just seeing the story visually for the longest time. Eventually people do start talking, but this is a wholly visual story, and honestly a great use of the medium. I think that Drome, I hesitate to keep going because I might be doing a longer video about this book, but it's a visual masterpiece, dude. It's literally one of the most imaginative, creative uses of the comic medium I think I've ever seen in my life. I haven't read every book under the sun or anything like that, but Jesse Lonergan he's just something else. This is for sure a 5 out of 5 banger masterpiece. I don't really want to even tell you much more, but look at these pages, bro. You should read this book. You should get this book. It's such a nice make. It's good thick paper. It's got beautiful design on the whole thing. I know mine's a little beat up, but yours won't be. I hope this book sells out 100 times over so that somebody else lets Jesse Lonergan do this again about whatever he wants. It's a masterpiece, bro. This is real masterpiece, magnum opus material, bro. It doesn't get better than this. If you like comics, you should get Drome. You should read this book. That's it. The last books I read this month is Moonshine by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso, and Moonshadow by J.M. DeMatteis and John J. Muth. I brought them both out here because I plan on making some other videos where I will talk about them a little bit more in depth. The gist of it, Moonshine is the 100 Bullets team. They're talking about werewolves. They're talking about Prohibition-era mobsters. It's so good. This book, I love those guys. I'm in the bag for them. Big recommend. I can show you a little bit of it. Just flip to a random page. I really love it. Again, I will be talking about this more in depth. For me, I think this is... whoa. This, for me, is probably a 5 out of 5. It's a great book. Loved it a great deal. It's Azzarello and Eduardo Risso, what'd you expect? The other one here, Moonshadow. Both have moon in the name. Didn't do that on purpose. Moonshadow. This took up the bulk of my reading over the month, because this shit has a lot of words. But it's so whimsical and told in a way where it's I don't know what you'd call it. Not necessarily a fairy tale, but it's almost written like a children's book. And here it refers to itself as a adult, what is it called? Adult fairy tale or something like that. And that's definitely true for me. I found it really interesting. There's a lot of words in it, but it's so whimsically written that I felt like I wasn't bogged down by the amount of words in the book. John J. Muth's art is incredible. My understanding is that this was one of the first fully painted comic books like this. There weren't a ton at the time. Yeah, it's got a fucking Ray Bradbury pull quote, bro. What are we talking about? Yeah, I will talk about it more. Moonshadow for me, I think it's a 4 out of 5, a high 4 out of 5, because there's some shenanigans, but it was a very important book for me, and it's one that I'm still thinking about a lot after reading it. So I think it's a very interesting read. Again, I'll talk more about these in a future video, which is why I only wanted to touch upon them now. If you want to see that video, maybe subscribe. As always, if you have any books that I should be reading, leave them in the comments. I hate having money, so I'll probably buy them. I always love new recommendations. Thank you so much for watching the video this far. I will see you in the next one.